Good morning. Are you happy to be here? I'm happy to be back. We missed you last week.
Yes.
I'm hopeful that you had a good time with Ash and Dave. You probably missed us thoroughly too. So, let's do this. Thank you, Bjorn, for joining us again, making sure that everything is peachy. Thank you to our flood of mods out there. We must have a zillion of them.
Yes,
check?
sorry. I was
okay.
distracted.
By my outfit.
Yes.
Okay.
You're very, I don't know,
Normal.
serious today.
Yeah, I'm businessing.
All right. So we have Clyde, Murph, Ryuri, Sassy, Shiroku, Suggestive, Faded, and Vorfidus. Thank you for being here, guys.
Thank you for helping us keep this clutter of cats from exploding.
We're serious here.
Yeah.
By the way.
Business.
Okay.
News and announcements. Let's talk about news. What's
Well,
coming? What's up?
First off, hi.
Hey.
I'm back.
Yeah,
And,
so I'll start by talking about Comic-Con. So Comic-Con last week, that was fun.
It was really fun. We met a ton of people. We have pictures. We're going to be doing a little redo of Comic-Con right there.
So essentially we were there to talk to people about the fact that we just got Leatherface out. I was there to do a bunch of interviews, mostly with outlets relating to movies more than the usual video game people. And then we were there to meet people and show them some new cool sneakers that we have and some mask prototypes and things like that.
I don't know if you guys saw it, but it ended up on the Reddit anyways.
Yeah.
So awesome trapper mask.
Yeah, lots of cool stuff. So I have a few pictures because we had some amazing people come join us. These two came in on the very, very first day at like 10 a.m. And I was already, like, they made our day. And I'm like, oh, awesome. This is going to be good. Then we had this poor person barefoot in New York Comic Con that cannot be pleasant, but I salute your dedication and awesome Rate outfit right there.
Great legs.
Yeah, great legs. This was super funny. Huntress, obviously, and her friend the Trapper, and the Trapper had his perks on his machete. So yeah, a few favorites. Only 3 perks, but you know. Then we had this awesome Pizza Dwight come and join us with his flashlight. Great guy. Thank you very much for stopping by. This was amazing. I tried to take the pictures where I'm not in it, but this one I didn't have a choice. And then we had these two come in. A very sad looking Michael Myers. I don't know what was up with his mask, but that hag outfit was just magnificent. It was seriously, it blew us all away. It was really, really cool. So congrats to you. You did an amazing job.
Okay.
That was fun.
Yes. Well, I want to take like
Sure, go ahead.
2 minutes to say thanks to Judy7 for sending me this amazing unicorn onesie that I was very dubious about. I was like, you know, how comfortable can that be? So I'm wearing this
and
every
the answer
day
is
since I got it.
Very.
Yes. Very comfortable.
So I got one, and it is very comfy, but I'm way too big. It's just, it didn't fit. So, yeah.
So, we don't have an answer for when the Trapper mask is coming to the store.
No, that one was a prototype.
Yeah, that was a prototype.
And if you tried to put it on your head the way it was made, like that, you would really be in pain, probably as much as Evan McMillan himself is in pain constantly. Which might help you get into character, but this is not how we want to market it.
So, so I'm back this week, and I'm leaving next week for TwitchCon.
It's kind of a big deal.
Yeah. So everybody that is there, I will not have a booth, but I will tweet my location on a regular basis. We can meet, absolutely. And if you want to schedule something before TwitchCon, we just try to hit me up and. I'll figure something out so we can meet out there in Long Beach.
Yeah. And after
Halloween.
that, I'll be in Shanghai.
Yes.
So the week after that, I will be in Shanghai at the end of the month for WePlay. So if you are in Shanghai for some reason, try to find me. I'll be there with Alex. So if you only speak Chinese and can't understand what I'm saying right now, Alex will be able to help us communicate when I get there.
Yes. So.
Yes, you were gonna say something cool about Halloween.
Event. Yes. Dates. 26th of October to 1st of November.
Oh,
So
that's many days.
that is a lot of days.
And what's gonna happen during that time?
Well, of course, there's gonna be, you know, more blood points happening.
Many more?
Many more, but before, well, you guys are gonna see it in the roadmap. I'm gonna explain
Okay.
it a little bit better, how we're gonna go with the Halloween event. There is no challenge. All we want to do is enjoy our time,
And give you stuff.
give you stuff.
So we can
mean-
we can do that.
Well, yeah.
So we are gonna do that. Cool. So we're gonna get to that in the roadmap in a moment. Do
Yes,
we have any other news and announcements?
not
No, it's
really.
in the rest of the stuff.
Yes.
Okay, so let's switch to the console. Let's look at the roadmap on console.
Yeah,
Please.
absolutely. So console.
All right.
Yes, we're going to go to the bugs on console also after, but just to tell you right now where we are, that letter F. So I obviously did it very quickly before the stream.
Yeah, that's fine.
So there was
No, but it makes perfect sense. It shows that we are very, very close to being on par on everywhere.
Yeah.
The exploit fix was fixed on PC, but will be transported to the PS4 and Xbox One
exactly.
imminently.
Then we have an update for the actual event. You guys are gonna receive stuff before the event is actually gonna be happening.
That's cool.
So it's mainly atmosphere stuff. Like a lot of stuff is coming.
It's
up.
gonna be fun.
Yes.
There's a lot of shit in there.
And then after the event, there's like the balance update and everything. But we're gonna talk more in detail about it a little bit later. We can go up to the bugs. So on console right now,
The big melting crash that we called it.
the big melting crash on Xbox, the one that was shutting down the whole console. We have a partial fix. What does that mean?
What
that
does that
means for example, for a 7,000 case that we had before, now we have 100.
Yeah.
So there are
Which
still
means-
people who are experiencing that problem. If you do,
Well, crash is also, it's very hard to say it's the same crash. So in some instances it might be something else.
yes.
But yeah, most of the issues that created that crash on Xbox are now fixed. Which is
Yes.
great.
So, FPS right now we are actively working on
Yep.
getting a better FPS on console.
Yeah, the idea being that we are well aware that on Xbox One specifically, but on PS4 to a certain extent, the FPS sometimes drops in certain instances, whether it's character related, whether it's location related. And so right now we are doing a huge push on that. And the good thing is, some of these optimizations will also make it onto PC.
Yes.
So people with lower end PCs might actually see some performance improvements too.
Trophy completion. We have various
Yeah.
trophies that we're not completing, achievement that you were not getting. There is various fixes. I cannot list them all today, but they are coming up.
They're all separate issues for the most part.
Yes. Rank reset. We're actually currently testing a fix. So, of course, if it works, it's going to go in the build. If it doesn't, we're going to try something else. Sound occlusion on Larry. It is critical, but it is not fixed yet.
No.
I'm going to be fair. And group lobby issues. So we had an issue where when you would group with your friends, sometimes you would never join a public match.
Mm-hmm.
So this is fixed on the next balance update.
Good. So that's the update for console.
Yes. We can go
Okay.
to roadmap for
roadmap.
PC, which, by the way, is going to be also the roadmap for console in the long term. It's just I had more space, so I'm putting it there.
That's okay.
So next patch that we're gonna get is a Halloween event. So there's gonna be new stuff coming out to the game. Also bug fixes.
Yep, always.
Balance update. We're gonna have the big thing on this one is the unhook from all sides.
We'll
we're
talk
gonna,
a little bit more about it later.
Yeah, we're gonna have a little video. We're gonna talk a little bit about face camping, about what does it do,
Yeah.
stats,
And
about
we'll have a
face
special
camping.
guest star to come and talk about it.
Absolutely. So that is the order. Then we're gonna go and jump on the rate queue. Then the badge update, which is basically redoing or relooking at the whole point system.
How you get judged at the end of a match, how you did.
Which we're gonna have a panel on.
Absolutely.
Also
when
in a
we
week
are.
or so.
But that's it.
Bit.
So we thought about doing it now because we have the design has been clearly done, but since it's gonna be a little far in the future,
still be changed.
It makes no sense to go into deep details now when we're not gonna roll that out until a little later. So, but obviously we'll give you all the details.
So yeah, raid queue, badge update, and UI blood web improvement. Those are 3 updates that can come like in this order. Like this is the order we wish we were gonna do it. But if something is ready before, it's gonna go out before.
That's it. So there's smaller updates, so it's easier to fold them into something.
Exactly. Then bugs.
Yeah, so
bugs.
the
We
bugs
can go to
on
bugs
PC.
and okay.
There you go.
Loss of progress.
That's the big one.
That's
been the big one for a while.
Yes.
And we do have a fix for this right now. We say partial fix because there might be instances where that doesn't work, but we expect it to fix 90% of these issues.
We're currently testing it with a group.
Of people who are playing live right now.
Live.
So we have ways to slightly modify the way they play the game and the way they save their game. And so there's a bunch of people out there, players in the live environment that are playing in a slightly different way and their game is being saved a slightly different way. And if after a while we have enough people playing that way and that we have seen no instance of that loss of progress happening, we will consider it safe enough to broadcast to everybody.
Exactly. So right now, basically what it says is that we're not using the local file anymore. Everything is stored on our servers.
Yeah.
And we have backups on there. So if something happened, we can go back in time, go get like the previous save file or version and reinstate it. So it's going to be way easier also for customer support to give you back your stuff.
Of course.
DC pips. This is what I said, badge system, because the badge system is coming up. This kind of lowered in priority, so it still happens. There's still instances that is happening where people are leaving and the person is not rewarded correctly, but it adds drop priority, and I wanted you guys to know it. Survivor inside the hook. It is fixed in the next update, if I'm not mistaken. Which, by the way, these 3 are going to get to console also. So that one is fixed. Franklin's demise, making you lose your item while you've been hooked, hit while on the hook, is fixed. That was not by design. That was a bug. Window freeze on Larry. Basically, when you open the shutters on the 2nd floor, you would jump through the window and get stuck there for the rest of the match. This is fixed also.
Yay!
So that was a pretty much what I had to say.
That's fine.
Maybe we can ping Thomas,
let's ask
so
Thomas
you guys
to
can
come join us.
Meet him and talk about face camping and talk about what we're working on about it. So that's pretty cool.
In the meantime, we're trying to take questions from you in the chat, but it seems everybody's just screaming about other things. So I will leave it at that. I will answer a few questions that were supposed to be answered last week, but obviously Dave and Ash decided not to answer any questions. Can we expect new killer customizations coming perhaps after the Leatherface cube? Feels like we have plenty of survivor skins. Any love for the killers? Yes, we are working on some new customization for killers right now. It's not gonna happen right after the Leatherface cube, but there's a plan. It's happening for sure. Could you make it so secret offerings are not shown at all before the match? So that's an interesting one and it keeps coming back. The idea for us is that the problem is not that you see a secret offering. The problem is that there are not enough secret offerings for that to be a valid thing to show. Because right now it's pretty obvious what you're crooked.
Yeah.
It's hard to do it with the delay, and this is not gonna get gift at all. Okay, how about game optimizations like reducing lag sensitivity is what you meant, and a fluent gameplay without the need of the newest supercomputer. So as we were saying earlier, the FPS on console is a huge issue right now that we are tackling top priority, and that will drive the better performance on
console. And actually
console,
you need to separate lag and FPS issues. They're different. So if you have a low-end PC, you're going to experience more of FPS loss. Yeah. If you experience lag on top of it, it might be...
it's got nothing to do with the quality of your PC.
Well, up to a certain extent. If you're really, really on the low end, maybe the FPS lag is going to make other people lag in your game. But that's really rare.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, we have a guest. I will move and I'll give him space.
Yes.
So please have a seat. Thank you. I will do this and I will take...
Hi everyone, so I'm Thomas. I'm a game economy designer on Dead by Daylight. So what it means basically is that I'm taking care of everything happening outside of a trial. So everything which has to do with your progression, the blood web, the grind, ranking system, I'm working on that.
The whole new badge system, that's him.
So Thomas is going to come back when we're going to be ready to ship the badge system, the emblem system as it's now called. I have a question. Can you tell us when we finally get news on the new ranking league system? No, that's not a real question. We just said when we're ready to ship it, we'll actually have a full-on panel about that. So that's not a real question.
You're going to meet him again.
Yep. So yeah, we have some slides and stats and things to show about this. Is that the first one?
Yes, that's the first one.
Let's get to it.
Okay. So Julien, our stats guy, gave us a bunch of stats on face camping behaviors and everything related to camping. So what we did there is that we separated the different type of campers you can get in the game. So you have face camping, which is spending 60% of a hook event in a 1 meter radius around the hook. So you're just facing the survivor. Hard camping, which is between 1 and 8 meter. Soft camping between 8 and 24 meter, hard and soft, which is basically anywhere in a 24-meter radius around the hook. Wanderers, which have no specific pattern and are just moving around. They don't spend 60% of their time in a specific place. And no camping, which are spending 60% of their time outside the 24-meter radius.
And just so people who don't know about the scale of the game, how big is a tile?
Tile is 16 meters.
So 24 is a tile and a half?
Yes.
Okay.
So the interesting thing here is that when we look at the amount of times you're going to secure a kill or to secure the catching another survivor, face camping is advantageous. So you're going to be able to secure a kill on first hook around 75% of the time, and on the second hook almost 100% of the time. That slowly decreases over time as you get like further and further from the hook, which makes sense. At the same time, you have less and less chance to actually catch another survivor. So this is a behavior that we see in order to just secure a kill and do absolutely nothing else, which is something that we want to fix, obviously, because we don't want you to just spend the game watching someone else dying. That's not fun for anyone. So that's on a hook by hook basis. That's what's happening if you're just looking to actually kill someone and doing nothing else. We can see there that the best thing you could do is actually face camping. Now, if we look at the second slide, on the scale of a game, so across a whole match, not talking about just a specific hook, but what you are doing with all survivors, if we look at the average of kills you are going to do, we can then look, depending on your hooking behavior, like how much you camp, basically, are you going to secure more or less kills? So again, we can see that face campers are going to secure like 25% more kills across the whole match, meaning that when we look at this, we look at the whole match. So what we are doing is that if you spend 75% or more of the match applying this behavior, you fall into this category. So if you face camped for more than 75% of the match, you are going to secure, in average, 25% more kill. This behavior is like kind of erratic when we look at the other camping behavior you can get. What we see though is that the mix of strategies, which is basically you are not doing the same thing over and over again across the whole match.
And we're talking about the 4 or more events where you put someone on the hook.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's say you camp around, like in an 8 meter around the hook once, and then you go for the second hook like 24 meters around, and you basically change behavior and adapt to the situations, you're going to secure even more kills. So what it shows us is that even if it's true that on a hook by hook basis, you have more chance to secure a kill if you're actually face camping, across the whole match, your ability to adapt and to change your behavior depending on who you face has more value and is actually going to bring you more kills in average. What we can see too is that the Wanderers are way below in terms of percentage. They secure way less kill than anyone else. Wanderers being the one who have no specific patterns or behaviors. They're just wandering around and not committing to any specific strategy. So again, we need to investigate a bit further, but our assumption at this point is that because you're not committing to anything and you're not sending a signal to the player, should they avoid you, should they risk you, you're basically securing less kills because you're not applying like a defined strategy.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So that's for the sacrifice. Then the interesting thing is that if we look at the payoff
in blood points,
basically the amount of blood points you're going to get, because our game is not just about how many kills you're going to secure, it's also how many points you're going to do and how much you're able to progress with those points. Then what we see is that face camping is actually detrimental to your progression. You're not going to be able to progress as fast as someone who is playing other strategies. On the opposite end of the spectrum, we have no camping, which are spending all their time on like outside of a 24-meter radius.
As soon as you put someone on the hook, you run as far, almost. You start chasing someone else.
Yeah, exactly. Which actually makes sense because then you are more likely to trigger other scoring events and to get more points than if you are just sitting in front of the survivors for 2 minutes. So again, every behavior that we can see in between, there are kind of variations, but they are not really strong. When we look at the mix of strategies, once again, it's one of the only one which has a positive outcome in blood points. And it's actually the only one which has a positive outcome both for the amount of kills and the amount of blood points you are going to win. So once again...
And so the main thing with face camping that actually, well, in what we tried to, because like Dave forced me to make sure that we would say, these are the details of the conversation that we're having and that's the data we base our conversations on, but these are not solutions in any way. They're just us trying to figure out what the hell's happening in the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so the face camping is very specific to when you're right in front and you're preventing other survivors from saving that person on the hook, as opposed to the hard camping, which is literally what people mostly scream about campers, that just like you're standing right next but within a few meters, and that does not have much of an advantage. It doesn't really.
No, actually, like it's pretty, when we look at the other behaviors after face camping, we have slight variations, but we are talking about less than 1,000 blood points in average. So like it's not significant enough that we can draw a conclusion based on that.
Okay. But even for securing kills, the camping as a general rule is not a really great way of securing kills. Unless it's the face camping, and that's because of the problem of not being able to save someone.
Yeah, like when we look at on the first graph, we see that the less you camp, the less likely you are to secure a specific kill on a specific hook event. But across the whole game, that's not the optimal strategy, both to get more kills and to get more blood points.
There you go. Okay.
In the meantime, what are we working on? We have a
we
video.
can show a thing.
So that's a work in progress right now. We're doing a thing. I'm the
That's
raid,
not
by
it.
the way, in that. Yeah.
There you go. So this is a face camper. Oh, and see?
I don't know what's happening. Okay, well, of course, There you go. So basically, the hooks are kind of on a pivot thing. And then
right.
and the character just pushed around and unhook on the side.
So
that is work in progress, as we say. There's other plans coming up with that.
It seems to be working when you look at it like this.
Working.
And people are going to go, well, just put it in. But the thing is, as you probably have noticed so far, every time we have interactions between the environment and characters, especially more than one character, like whenever jumping over pallets while being interrupted, all these things, there's so many ramifications and so many issues that pop up with these things that we really need to make sure to look at a lot of different cases.
So for example, this strategy right now of unhooking right in front of the killer, I mean, if you're not running borrowed time, there's not a big chance for you to actually do something with that.
But at least it nullifies the absolute face camping.
Yeah, anyways, we're talking about, there's other solution we're exploring right now. So the killer and the survivors are not completely locked into it too.
Cool. So did you have more you wanted to say about that? Was there more you brought with it?
No, that's pretty much it so far.
I didn't get any questions. I don't know if it's because the mods are sleeping or is it just because people are all screaming about, I got banned, please unban me, I got banned, please unban me.
For ban and loss of progress, you are joining the customer support. And this is not the dev team answering to you. So screaming here in the chat won't change anything about it.
Does that mechanic prevent the killer from grabbing your ass?
No,
but prevent the killer from grabbing you as you unhook.
No, absolutely not.
No, he can interrupt.
He can interrupt you, but he needs to go around and hit mouse 1 and have the small lunge. Yeah. So it still needs to move around.
Yeah, but that's it. What it's stops is the fact that right now, if the killer is right in front of someone on the hook, there are no ways to unhook.
Now there is a way.
That's it.
The question
is, still a stupid thing to do to go unhook someone if the killer is right there, but at least it's a possible thing. Yeah, that's it, really.
We have more questions.
Did you have any interesting questions that popped up in there? Or else we're going to have to go from across the
Someone was asking the interaction earlier. I don't remember your name. I'm sorry, because questions go really fast. Asking the interaction of the White Ward with Franklin's demise. So basically, when you're running a White Ward, it says when you end your trial, even if you die, you keep your object. But Franklin's demise gets you to lose your item. It's on the ground. You need to have it in your hand if you want to leave with it. That's how I understand it.
Correct.
Right?
So it's the same as if you voluntarily press the button to drop your item and you decide
even
to drop
if you
your
have
item.
a White Ward, you're not going to end up leaving with it. So this is the answer for it is a decision.
Yeah.
And
Franklin's demise it sucks. It's supposed to. Okay. Yeah, shut up, McLean. Okay, so question for Thomas. What is one of the most interesting challenges you've encountered as the economy designer?
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh.
Weird player behavior, crazy math.
I think that due to the fact that Dead by Daylight is an asymmetrical game, one of the biggest challenge on my side is to make sure that no matter if you decide to play both roles at the same time, only one focused on one specific character and playing no one else, making sure that you have an enjoyable experience and that your progression actually makes sense and is interesting for you. So yeah, I think that's it. We have such a wide array of behaviors in the game, players who play in very different manners with very different characters, making sure that everyone progress at the same pace and enjoys the game no matter how you decide to play. I think that's...
Yeah, because we have some people who play Killer and Survivor equally, that play pretty much every single character in the game depending on how they feel. Yeah. And then there are some people who have played Dwight every single time since the beginning.
Yeah, absolutely. And then some people decide to Prestige, some people decide not to. So that makes a big difference as you progress in how the economy reacts to what you're doing.
Prestiging is scary.
Kind of. Yeah. especially since it's so long to get to this level.
I did not prestige my killers for the simple reason that I want to be able to switch the power as I want and not have like rank 1 perks. That was a personal decision. So I'm thinking about prestiging Michael though, but that's another question. It's to get more scratchy mirrors. There was a good question here. You guys are spamming so much. I lost it. I'm so sorry. Oh yeah, asking to make sprint burst activable. No. Like Dead Heart was activable.
No, yeah.
The reason why Dead Heart is activable is because it's 3 steps. Like it's you decide when you get it, you're hurt.
Yeah.
When we tested it early on, it was something like almost a sprint burst run, and it was activable whenever. It was way too strong, so no sprint burst is not planned on getting an activation.
Will we ever hear the survivors talk? No, except maybe in an interview or something special that we do outside the game. But the survivors grunt, they scream, they whine, they breathe hard, but they will not talk. Killers won't either, by the way. Have you taken a look at evaluated the benefits of prestige? Many players don't feel that the prestiging is an investment of the team because they haven't been seeing much better rewards in the blood webs. That's a question for you.
Yes. So actually, the fact that you are going to get better rewards and rarer rewards as you prestige, that's something we are looking into, like the whole blood web progression.
Yeah, we talked at the beginning about the roadmap, and we said there's a big blood web progression change coming.
Yeah, that's something we're working on.
Okay. It sounds like you're saying that right now, yes, the benefits are not as good as they could be.
Like you were saying earlier that prestiging is scary, and I think that's actually true, because usually what happens is that you prestige when you know that you will be able to get back to where you were before in a reasonable amount of time, and right now it's long and it takes time and effort.
Anybody who's a casual player will probably be scared into not prestiging.
You have very few incentive to prestige if you're not really invested in the game, and prestige is still a big part of our game, because that's how you unlock new customization content, and that's like a way to show off. So yeah, right now the trade-off of prestiging versus staying at your level is not attractive enough.
Yeah. So no, I'm sorry, Louis. I love you. Don't worry. Okay, what would you like to see in the game, Thomas?
That's a good question. I personally think like we are missing ways to like create end-game goals which are attractive to players which are not very invested in the game.
Are we talking rank reward? Are we talking prestige reward?
Yes.
Okay.
Everything which is not basically, either you are a very engaged player and you want to go for rank 1, either you're not, and no matter where you end, it doesn't make much of a difference at the end of the month. And I feel like we are missing those kind of small steps during your progression which rewards you for what you're doing.
And we can think about like the players that have been there for a long time reaching rank 1, and it happened once, and once it happened, you're like, okay,
we'll do the same in 1 month.
Yeah,
that's it.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
So we're talking rank rewards, and we're talking
like progression
rewards.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that seems to be the questions that we had.
Did you not have more on your piece?
Oh, I have a few on my thing. I know it's a good ways off, but are you thinking about changing? What are you thinking about changing in the Hag Cube? So it's too early to talk about the Hag Cube right now. We have a long list internally that we're playing with.
There's a couple of bug fixes also.
Yeah.
Couple of
so
bug
there are
fixes
bug fixes.
on Hag.
There's a lot of balancing that has to be done with the hexes.
Took me hours to do that daily. 15 hits after teleport. I almost threw my keyboard in the wall.
Okay, so we have here. What are your thoughts on all the thread about killer not being fun? What do you plan to do to fix the major issues? like gens completed way too fast and chases lasting way too long. I personally don't like. I know that some people are saying that killer is not fun.
It's all about balance. There's a lot of talk about objects that are, so for example BNPs or brand new parts and stuff like that. That is okay as a one, but when you multiply the objects are problematic. So when you have a group who brings 3, it's
annoying.
Yeah, it's 60% of the objective completed in less than a minute, and it can be very annoying to people. You don't face that every game, but it's pretty common.
There are annoyances, for sure.
So yes, these are the things that we were talking in balance specifically. So we're always moving around with balance, so of course we're listening to that, and we're trying to make it fun for everyone. And you can't win every game either, and some games are fun, and when you're having a lot of fun, maybe the other side doesn't.
In a sense, also,
maybe.
It's part of the price we pay for having so many strategies possible in the game, for having so many combinations of powers and add-ons and offerings, and these things make it so that some games will be completely different from other games, and in some cases you will be at a complete disadvantage. Whether you're a survivor or a killer, you can be in situations where you feel, oh, this is absolutely not fair and I'm not having a good time, because there's some combinations are gonna really completely suck.
Oh yeah.
But we kind of want to make sure that you always have a lot of options, and there are a lot of different ways this could go. It's part of what makes this game fun and exciting, I think. But obviously, constant balancing. Is it possible that the basement hooks will ever be changed to come from the ceiling? It would also make more sense for why you can't sabotage them. I mean, it's an interesting idea, and you saw the original concepts were all from the ceiling.
They were from the ceiling.
But it's probably not a change that's ever gonna manage to make it to the top of the list. It's an interesting idea, but probably not. What is the average kills per game overall, and just rank 1? Do you have that in your head? We answered that in the past, but like we'll probably do it again next week.
Yeah.
Average kills per game, it's just above 2, right?
Just a
it's
little
like 2
bit
point
above.
something.
I think it's a bit above 2, but I
it
don't
also,
remember.
if I am not mistaken, it was counting like some DCs and some stuff like that. So it's just.
No, we're talking about kills and sacrifices
only. Oh, the kills
only.
and sacrifice. Oh,
and it's
never mind.
Little above 2, which was always the original goal. But then again, I mean, it's funny because people will go, well, that's not what happens to me. The thing is, some people are very good and they will survive 10 games in a row, but that means that for those stats to be true, then some poor sucker needs to die 10 times in a row. And that's probably you.
Which happens, I can confirm.
Yeah, that's usually.
That happens, yeah.
Yeah, you play with a lot of really hardcore designers. That's not easy. Okay, since it's the month of scares, will it be a long week? Will it be a week-long or a weekend event? It is a week-long. That's what we just said earlier today.
26th
Also,
to
what
the
kind of
1st.
spooks do you guys have in store for us?
All the spooky things.
Not yet, but hang on to your whatever it is you're wearing right now, because it will be fun. I can tell you that. Okay, I think that's it for the face camping talk and for the questions, if we have anything else. Oh. Thomas, how do you feel about ways to get add-ons or keep them as killer outside of the blood web?
Yes, so the thing with add-on is that you can, like, unlike the survivors, which can basically keep their items if they survive, the killer are going to lose their add-ons a lot as they progress. So there is kind of like, again, we come back to
the
how do you balance?
In those two,
How do you balance an asymmetric game? That's one of the points I'm looking at, because I know it's a sacrifice as a killer to actually use your add-ons, because you know they are going to get lost. And getting them outside of the blood web,
like finding them in chests, I guess. Although
like
you're not looting chests.
That would be kind of the same mechanic. I'm thinking about ways, like, basically the problem we are trying to address is how do we make the add-ons a bit more like making them last over time, a bit longer than just a one shot and then it's gone. So either getting them outside of the Blood Web to create like an inflation of add-ons so we can use more of them easily.
Are we talking in game? Like finding them in game? Well, it needs to be like really, really quick. Like not like a 10-second animation to just search something.
So that's why I'm not sure that's the best solution. Just because you're so focused as a killer and you have already so much to do, you don't have those
time is
time.
Probably your most pressing resource as a killer.
Absolutely. But the idea behind that like the issue you are losing your add-ons too quickly and that creates a disadvantage. Yes, that's
it's a
something
known thing that we're talking about. Yeah. All right. Next for me is going around the web and showing you cool stuff that I found this week.
Thank you.
You can stay.
Thank you.
It's fine.
Or you can stay.
It doesn't
whatever.
matter.
Yeah.
I keep your chair.
Yeah, you can keep the
Can
chair.
I keep
Thank
your
you.
chair?
It's a good chair. So this is a really cool user called, I have the name here, give me a second, Black Derby, who posted this on Reddit, the level 1 perks, and
I'm a really
super
big fan
funny.
of your things.
So I posted the first 2 that I saw. This was super funny, and the next one is also from the same user. It's awesome. I love it. So that's great. Thank you. The next one is Dove Darko. Create this very, very creepy image there. So I guess thank you. Jenny Loves Myers made this beautiful derp Meg. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you get when you play the Meg.
Wow.
I'm a Meg main, so I know.
Kuros B gave us this. I'm not sure about everything that's happening in there, but they're sharing a refreshment, I guess.
You know exactly what's
friends.
happening right there.
Then Luddles gave us this really cool little version of our female killers. Then Naizvestni. I just like the fact that they included the jar of salty lips in there. So.
And a Nia, of course.
Well, you always need a little more Nia. Then Penguana. I like the laser bear. That's how it's. That's how it is. Then the next one is from the Tumblr of Pericote, which has some much more troubling ones, but these are the.
David is a
David is a
monster.
hunk. People like David when they want to be cuddled vigorously, I think. The next one is actually the most vigorous cuddle you can get. We do not have that mustache for Dwight. I think he stole Jake's mustache. That's just what happened here. Then we have Rampage, who made this.
Oh, there it is, the Nia art.
Yeah, I always need some. And the next 2 are actually awesome new tattoos that I've seen. This is from the Tatfu tattoo in Flagstaff. I don't know who got that on their skin, but really, really nice. I showed it to Sarah immediately, obviously, because that's her art that ends up on people's skin. And then the next one is Yazmat. Nice take on that. So Yazmat, congratulations, you had your nipple shown to people online. So there, that's what I had this week. I'm very happy with that.
Did I lose my paper, or did you take
No,
them?
I took all the papers.
You took
no,
all
you
my
don't.
papers.
You don't need those. Then Q&A, that's done. Repeat news and announcements.
Yes. So Halloween event,
26th
26th of October.
to
Whenever people were asking me what month, 26th of October to the 1st of November.
Excellent.
Halloween event.
And then Comic-Con, we showed some picture. It was awesome. Thank you for coming to see us.
Going to TwitchCon next week.
Yeah, and then I'll be going to WePlay in Shanghai. Then we have Thank You Bjorn. Yeah, that's a thing, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is. He's like, Thank you, Judy7, for the amazing unicorn onesie.
Thank you for all our mods for showing up, and thank you, Tama, for helping us explain to people what the hell's happening with face camping. What's wrong now? Did I miss something? Did you milk came out of your nose, Bjorn? What? You weren't
I
even
think
drinking milk.
so-
That's weird.
So I killed Bjorn right there. Bjorn is dying.
All right. Well, that's it. That's all we got for this week. I was hoping to have a special extra little thing, but I did not get the call, so stay tuned. It's coming. That's it. Bye.
Thank you
Say
for
bye.
your time.
Bye.